Good morning, my Teaser King family. How's everybody today? Great day yesterday. I think I was 7-1. Didn't have a lock, but it would have been LA and Denver. I just didn't feel like locking it, even though it was lockable. Sometimes you got to get the feel of the lock, right? And I had them in two teasers. I had a big one, LA and Denver. I'm using concepts of I know the team. I don't need 3 weeks to see Stafford and Bo Nix. I know who I got. I know who Jacksonville and Tennessee and Indy are. They didn't get in. Daniel Jones is an improvement. So I didn't need to wait. I'm watching the Giants. I'm watching Pittsburgh. I'm watching the Jets. I don't need that. So therefore, I knew who I was getting before. So anyway, that was the key to it. All right, so gold, as we see, 36.61. Why does it keep doing that? When I hit the page, it should just come in. All right, gold, 36.61. Silver, 42.34. The longer silver goes over 42, the better. Gold on its way to 4,500. Again, I don't know what happens in the morning when it goes up and down, this little choppy shit. And then at 8 o'clock, it goes up. And 10 o'clock, we expect to drop. It did a little, and now it's on its way back up. But we'll get 3,700 soon. And that's gold. And again, I explain it. Gold's the savior of Rome. It's the savior for everybody. I was watching, and I'm going to talk about Vegas, how it's like Jurassic Park. Well, what do you mean, Howard? It is a bunch of old people, old dinosaurs? What are you talking about? Well, what did Jurassic Park do in the first movie? They sat there. We'll get into football in a minute. They sat there and men made the animals. The animals weren't created by other animals. The AI created the animals, the dinosaurs. Oh, we made a T-Rex. Oh, we made raptors. Oh, shit. We fucked up. And you saw what happened. Well, that's what Vegas is doing. They're AIing. They're getting rid of their people. They're going for... So what do I say? I say to the guy at the rib place, the barbecue place, if you make the slab of ribs $45, you'll be out of business. That's essentially what Vegas is doing. Vegas is making it so expensive, they're going to be out of business. The Wall Street idiots that are doing this, the hedge funds or whatever. Hey, David. Yeah, I know. What they're doing for 3 months is... What they're doing is basically killing the goose, laying the golden egg. They think, I hear these comments. Well, what they're doing is they're AIing. So they're laying off security. They're laying off dealers. It's all computerized. Well, it's not going to work. They're raising prices, right? They're making the Coke $5 a 2-liter, and it doesn't work. People won't pay it. So what I hear is, well, they raised the parking and they raised the food and they raised the resort fees and people paid it. one time because they probably didn't know it was going to get hit. But then once people went to Vegas and saw that, they don't go back. It's like making Coca-Cola $5 for 2 liter at the grocery store. And you might buy it the first time because you're having a party and you need 2 liters of Coke or something. You won't go back to it. You'll go substitute some. You'll have Verner's or, some other off-brand, 7-Up or something that replaces it. Or you buy juice, or you'll just have everybody will drink water. Gold is the best. Gold's the savior of Rome, as I say. So what the idiots on Wall Street don't understand is you're taking away Say's law. Say's law is the most important thing. Me and you go to work, we buy things. Well, what you're doing with AI is there's nobody working. Who's going to buy your products? And if you lay off people, then you have nobody, you have no markets. You can't sell food, clothes, anything if they don't have money to buy it. Now, this is a prelude to the dollar collapsing, and nobody will buy it. So I don't know what the Wall Street idiots are doing. You're killing. Why would you kill the goose to lay the golden egg? What was wrong with what you're doing? Well, we're making money if we have people come in. We have less people, but we're going after the whales. Kind of idiot advice is that? You don't even know. Maybe the whales like the crowd. If they wanted to, they could just sit at home and play online. They don't need to come to Vegas. Vegas, you've gotten rid of your shows. You've gotten rid of. Not everybody wants a Gordon Ramsay hamburger for $50. Most of us don't. Gordon Ramsay's restaurants go out of business because he's too pricey. This whole Michelin star crap. I mean, if you know the Michelin star and they gave you a star, it doesn't mean you're any good. So what's happening there is they're again, the market's here, and they're trying to sell everything up here, and there's nobody home. And Vegas will collapse, and they won't be able to, without the customer. Who wants less customers? Vegas grew because they had people come in for the $5 steak and salad, and they lost money there, but they made all their money gambling. Now they can't even make money gambling because they make it $50 blackjack and $50 roulette. And guess what? You don't want the $50 blackjack player comes. He's going to be professional. He's not going to be some idiot who comes into, I'm on vacation, I can blow $500. Now people aren't vacationing there. You have nobody there. Your AI people, good luck with them. Again, they won't spend. So the dealers would go eat and shop there. My friend Scott, who lives in Vegas, he says, I never go to the Strip. Well, he still goes to the grocery store and he still goes to the restaurants. But if you eliminate people like him, and let's say he's working as a dealer, and you eliminate him, well, he doesn't buy anymore. He can't pay his mortgage. Hence, like Jurassic Park, where Jurassic Park, the animals were man-made, and that's ridiculous, and that was a problem. And in here, you're eliminating security and dealers with AI. You're charging so much that you have no customers, but you still have rent, property taxes, and everything else you still owe. And, the vanguards are running it with their head up their ass. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to run a casino, and then it's obvious. Well, we can get more money if we raise the price. Well, that's like the movies used to do that. And they did it with movies used to be like $5. And then they raised it to 10. And their answer was, well, we'll get less people, but we'll make more per person. So we get $10 for the people going to it. So if we had 100 people coming and now we only get 50, but we charge double. So we really get the same amount of money. Well, what's wrong with that? The rest of the people aren't buying the hot dogs and the popcorn and the pop that you charge $5-6 for. You have less traffic. You want more traffic. I want 1,000 people buying Teaser King. I don't want to raise my price and get 50 people buying it. I want 1,000 people buying it because they got friends and they're winning and they're going to tell 2 people and on and on and on. I want as many people as I can get. Why would I want to charge more and have less people? What kind of business model is that? So again, Say's law, if there's demand for the product, you figure out the right price for it and you charge it. You don't overcharge and lose people. You never want to lose people. That's the dumbest thing you can do in Austrian economics. It's draw in more, and then the competition joins you. So Vegas, what are they going to do? Sell the hotels to who? The hotels are going out of business because there's nobody there. The whales, well, the whales probably like the excitement and the people, which nobody, if it's dead, the whales don't want to go there. And just because the whales go, they're going to go, they can go anywhere. And that's your business model is we'll attract the $1 million whales instead of that, or the Silicon Valley. Engineers don't gamble. Engineers are a bunch of nothings. They don't gamble. I remember talking with engineers when I worked at some of these auto places. They don't gamble. They're too dry. There's no excitement for them. Hey, Todd. Great morning, winning 118 teaser and 10 team teaser, losing 1 teaser with Notre Dame. Vanderbilt is my bitch. Vanderbilt's been my bitch since last year. And our other bitch is Georgia Tech, who we love Haynes King, love the coach. And then we've got new bitches, Utah, Missouri. My lock was Utah, Missouri this week. And they both crushed. Illinois should have been a lock. I bet them in 2 teasers. I didn't lock them. I don't know why. And then USC over, they have a 3-hour rain delay, and they end up at the goal line and kick a field goal after they missed the field goal. And Purdue threw 2 interceptions in the end zone. I get anything. It's an easy over. And UAB is up 11 late. Akron scores and goes for 2 and gets it. If they go for 2 and miss, it's a winner. So, that's betting against the Z team again. But my pros yesterday, 7-1. The only loser was the Niners under, which I lost by a half a point. It was 40.5, and it was a 41 or something like that. Or no, it was 46.5, and it was a 47 or something like that. Otherwise, I nailed Kansas City. Mahomes is a home dog. The Denver with their defense. What? Tell me that game's not fixed. You call the penalty. They missed the kick at the end. Denver wins. No. There's a penalty. The guy jumped. What? Now, the guy doesn't know he can't jump? No. The coach, Sean Payton's too good of a coach to leave that out. And a 15-yard penalty, and then they kick a field goal to win it. That's a joke. That penalty was only called because the game was fixed. Again, another fixed game and another thing there. Otherwise, Baltimore I left alone because there's who knows what Lamar is. Now we got KC on a 2-game losing streak, so it's even gets sweeter, right? But I think they play Baltimore or something this week. Cincinnati, the free play wins, but Joe Burrow gets the guy landed on his foot was like this, and the guy landed on it and it broke his toe or something. Poor Joe Burrow, we can't keep him healthy, but they do win the game, and Browning looks okay, so I think we're all right there. We avoid Pittsburgh and Cincinnati or Seattle. Normally, I take Seattle as a road dog. I avoided that. Miami, New England. I told you Miami was a weak favorite, and that's why they can't win. Tennessee, the Rams, that was easy. Tennessee still sucks. Cam Ward sucks, and the Rams have a great defense, and Stafford. That was probably the easiest one. Tonight I played 1 game. I took a live dog. very live dog. And that's it. And we're looking ahead at college. I updated the stats. I updated the A teams and Z teams and all that kind of good stuff. Gold 3663 on its way to 4,500, 4240 silver on its way to 100. I love short bets. So, Todd, yes, I like Illinois as dog versus Indiana. KC is an under team. I don't know about that. Carolina Saints are Z teams. Well, Carolina's been a Z team for 2 years. The Saints, add Miami to the Z team list. I'd say Tennessee's also a Z team. Indy, I don't know. Daniel Jones, he's running more. I don't know. I mean, he sucks. But sometimes, like Darnold, he sucked, but he played in a better, different offense. And he was better. So sometimes this change in scenery is good. Look at Russell Wilson, 400 yards against Dallas because Micah Parsons isn't on the team anymore. San Diego looks good. Denver looks good. I'll take Denver anytime. Baltimore, Buffalo, KC, Philly looked good. Philly looked like we saw a little weakness in there. The long pass. Mahomes missed the guy wide open for a touchdown mid-fourth quarter, and then he hits him again for about a 50-yard touchdown, and there was nobody there. So there is a weakness in Philly defense. Maybe a Joe Burrow can figure it out. Mahomes did. Lamar will never figure it out. Maybe Josh Allen. Maybe Stafford with Pukanuka can handle it, but there is a little weakness in their Philly defense in the secondary. Anyway, with Jurassic Park and Vegas, it's just like Coke for $5 a bottle, nobody will buy it. Ribs at $45 a slab, nobody will buy it, and a Camry for $35,000, nobody would buy it. And Vegas, you've priced yourself with these resort fees. They make a comment. Well, they were making revenue at first, but the repeat business is gone. They're not making revenue now. If you had casino stocks, I would tell you to get the hell out of them. How can they make money? The whales paying a little bit more is not going to make you money. You have too much of your break-even cost. Break-even is how many people do I need at this higher cost to cover my expenses? Well, I'm sure it's still very high. It's not like all of a sudden we went from a million people a month. Now we're getting 50,000, but somehow that's because we'll charge more. You can't piss off your lifeblood. So what happens? Like me, I went to the lake instead of going to. Normally, I would have went to the Vegas last week because it was football. And I would have played poker, and I would have drank, and I would have eaten, and I would have shopped. But you've killed that. You don't understand what you're losing. You're not just losing. I like how they call the middle class, but I think that's bullshit. You're killing people, right? So you've got less people. You're AIing the dealers and security, and the programmers apparently, and all these IT people. You're killing them with AI. Well, AI doesn't shop. AI doesn't drink and eat. Right? That's what you're missing with AI. They're customers. The guy the bartender is a customer. He's going to eat and drink, and he might go shopping and buy a coffee mug or a t-shirt. He might bet some football. He might play a little bit of craps. You're taking that out. They are not understanding what they're doing. They're fucking it up. It'll be broke very soon. It has to go broke because you're taking all the buyers out. It's like me, if I made it $5,000 a week to buy Teaserking, I'd have no buyers. Well, I'd get more money. Yeah, but I wouldn't get any buyer to buy it at $5,000 a week. I mean, that's what they're trying to do. And there's all these bullshit fees that nobody wants. Vegas will collapse. My idea would be to have a new Vegas. Go about 100 miles out into the desert and start building a new one with no resort fee and no high food, no resort cost, no parking, and everybody would go there. fuck Wall Street. I mean, you know, these CEOs who did it, they're all Keynesians. They don't understand market. You don't want 10 people if you can have 100. I'd rather have 100 people if I'm Vegas because they'll all shop and they'll all eat and they'll all drink. But by taking it to the whales, how long are the whales? Do you think the whales have nothing better to do than go to Las Vegas? You know, and they all want to play blackjack. The whales, that's all they want to do. I got $1 billion. Let me go to Vegas and play blackjack because I got nothing better to do with my money. Are you kidding me? They don't want to go to Vegas. So it's lose-lose. If you have stock in that, get the hell out. Vegas, it's simple Austrian economics. You raise the cost, the market's down here, you get nothing. But you still have your cost. You still have to pay rent. You still have property taxes. You still have to, even if it's all AI, you've got to pay the AI, the electricity. You bought the AI. I assume you're buying it. And then you got to have programmers when AI fucks up. And then you close everything. So all the people that you would have come in, you lose. That is not how you run a business. That is not healthy. That is not good. That's totally idiotic. What they're doing is an F. You get an F for that project. If I'm the teacher and that's the project is to make money and you came back with that to me, you failed. You flunked. There's nothing smart about what they're doing. We'll charge more. Yeah, we'll lose 95% of our customers and they'll all go somewhere else and spend their money. But we don't want their money. What are you kidding me? I do that all the time. Somebody says, you know, can you give me a break? You know, I know it's 100 a week. How about 80? I go, yeah, all right, I'll give you 80. I want the customer. And if they can afford 80, fine. Versus saying, no, it's 100 and then I don't get the customer. It's just pure business. I want the more people that pay, the better it is for me. So anyway, let's walk through yesterday's NFL. We kind of did, but we'll do it again. All right. And I didn't look at next week's yet, but we'll look at next week's college. So we start with Green Bay 27-18 over Washington. We have Washington at 9.5. It's a W. They also got 45, which worked under or over on a late touchdown by Daniels. So Green Bay is the A team. Cleveland, Baltimore laying 12, wins 41-17. Lamar actually had a good game against the weak Cleveland team. So that really is confusing because Cincinnati only got 17 on them. Now we see the real Cleveland and we see the real Baltimore. Okay, well, this is fine. That's why we wait a few weeks. 41-17. And the ironic part is Baltimore gave up 41 in the week one and Cleveland gave up 17 in week one. And here it got reversed where Baltimore scored 41 and Cleveland scored 17. Flacco against Lamar. Flacco is Flacco. Pittsburgh, Seattle, again, a game I watched. Aaron Rodgers. Seattle wins 31-17. Haven't watched the highlights of this. If you notice YouTube, it's like a pain in the ass. They throw a commercial in every 3 or 4 minutes now, trying to watch the replays. I got to watch from a different source. Whatever I'm watching is all these commercials, and there's such stupid commercials, and you're just waiting for the skip. I mean, it's YouTube is very aggravating because you can't, like, if I'm watching Pluto or Tubi and it goes to commercial, it's like 3 commercials. All right, so I can go to the bathroom, I can go make some coffee, I can go grab some chocolate, and I know the commercials, and then it comes back. Well, with YouTube, you can go to the bathroom or you can go make a salad, and it could be a 30-minute commercial. They're not 30 seconds and then back. It's Dr. Joe blows, and it's 20 minutes into and it's a commercial. And you're like, what kind of commercials are these? So anyway, That's the problem, but I got to watch it. So Seattle wins 31-17. Darnold, okay. I don't know. Pittsburgh's defense is not showing up. They have a 32 defense. They gave up 31. Where's their defense? Buffalo and the Jets. Buffalo wins 30-10. We have the over in the game of 40. So it is a push. Surprise. Now here again, the Jets put up 32 on Pittsburgh, and yet they scored 10 on Buffalo, who doesn't have that great of a defense. So again, Fields is Fields. He sucks. Buffalo with 30. So we got to figure out the Jets. Are they, so it's confusing that you can put up 30 on a good Pitt defense, or we think, but against Buffalo, 10. So we'll be careful with the Jets. Frisco, New Orleans. Mac Jones throws 3 touchdown passes. Where's this? New Orleans, 26-21. Radler throws 3 touchdowns, a 47. We were 40 and a half. So we 46 and a half, and we went under because Purdy was out. McCaffrey played. What the hell was that? He was supposed to be out. So you got to be careful reading the injuries. If they're not out, they're playing. And, so McCaffrey's with the cramp, but apparently he's going to play. And so be careful with that. New England, Miami, exactly what we thought. Miami, the Z team, loses 33-27. They make Drake May look good. Now everybody say, oh, look how good Drake May is. He beat a shit Miami team. So Miami is our biggest Z team here with Carolina. Even New Orleans scored 21 on the Niners. I mean, that's okay. Miami gets 27 on a shit New England team. But we'll have to recheck the figures. Miami with the 33 defense gave up 33 again. They got 211 yards. They got more yards. So New England is still pretty weak. But again, Miami was a weak favorite, and there you go. You take the dog against a weak favorite and wins. LA, Tennessee, loved LA. I really don't know why I didn't lock this game. LA wins 33-19. Stafford against Ward. Ward sucks. He's not going to come in and do it. He didn't do anything at Washington State as far as I'm concerned. So I look at Miami as just a unique offense they run, and that's it. I don't know who their offensive coordinator is, but he's gone to more of a wide open. So LA wins 33-19. I'm even in the game, or laying a half, or getting a half. Anyway, it's easy winner. Detroit, Chicago, Detroit 52-21. Chicago at midfield on 4th and 1 runs a quarterback sneak with Caleb. Does this coach know what he's doing? First of all, why would you run a quarterback sneak with Caleb? Caleb's not a fast guy, but he has moves. He's hard to sack. Maybe you go back and let him kind of do an option to the right side and let him deke a few people and go, but not a quarterback sneak. And then that was the game again. Why are you going for it on 4th down? Do you think that, and that cost him the game, and this is going to cost him his job. I told you this guy sucks, and he won't last. They're not going to win. He had the Minnesota game won. He gave that up. This game, he gets killed, and he knew every play, and he still got killed. And I did notice Detroit run a few more of these little, everything in Detroit's a little bit of misdirection. That's what they do. It's a bullshit offense, misdirection. If you apply pressure to it, they fold. So 52-21. Okay, off the loss. Are they this good? No. The Bears, probably another Z team. Caleb sucks. I noticed Badgett in the game at the end. He probably should have started Badgett, and he might have had a chance. Dallas 40, Giants 37. No play. Giants, Russell Wilson threw for 400 yards, so he woke up. They won't be asking for Jackson Dart anymore. Dallas with 40. Now, apparently, the Giants took the lead 37-34, and then it went to overtime. Dallas kicked a 65-yarder. What's going on with the balls? Are they all like Super Balls where they're really tightly? And these kickers can't kick 60 yards. It's like golf, right? Hitting 350-yard drives. Jack Nicklaus never hit a drive over more than 280, 290. I mean, what are you kidding me? And now they're kicking 65-yard field goals because the balls are real tight. I don't, what the fuck's going on there. So Dallas wins 40-37. No defense. So here's how I read the games. Dallas, no defense. Russell Wilson's back. Giants, no defense. And so you got two probably over teams now in Dallas and the Giants. Teams will be able to score on them. They should be able to score with Russell Wilson and Dak. This is how you figure out the team. Jacksonville, Cincinnati. Cincinnati, our free pick wins 31-27. Burrow gets hurt. His toe gets kind of crushed. Poor Joe Burrow. I noticed Chase had 18 throws and 16 completions. As long as they got Chase, they'll be okay. The backup looked okay. He's no Joe Burrow, but Joe Burrow should have went down on the play. He was kind of trying to get open, and they had him boxed in. He needs to just go down. You're too valuable to run around, and they've got you. Just go down. And he didn't. And the guy tackled him on purpose. He should get a big fine for that because he hurt Joe Burrow on purpose. He landed on his foot with his full weight. He knew what he was doing, so that's a shame. But we'll see. He'll be out, at least I saw 10 to 12 weeks. And I've never seen a guy can't get a break, but he's got a weird offense. He never really has a lot of room. They don't have good linemen. And he's got Chase, and this is where you're paying the quarterback and the receivers too much money. And now your linemen you need to get better linemen. But they do win 31-27 based on Jacksonville sucking, which they still suck, but we got the win. Arizona, Carolina. My feeling was take Arizona, more or less bet against Carolina, the Z team. They win 27-22. Murray doesn't look good. Steve Young's terrible. Getting 22 on Arizona, big deal. Denver, Indy, the spread was way too low. I had Denver -7, and we would have lost by 1, where it was only 1.5. I took Denver and 4.5, 5, because that was a joke. They weren't. I knew if they lost, it would be by a field goal close, but I thought they'd win. And if it wasn't fixed at the end, they would have won. 29-28 Indy. Okay, give them credit for getting 29 on Denver, which is the best defense in the league. Indy had an 8 defense because they played Miami. Now we get a better scope of Indy's defense. Denver puts up 28 on them. Now we go, okay, they're not an 8. That's why we need the second week, and that's why you got to see who they're playing. If you do that to Carolina or Miami and you put up an 8, that's not the same as doing it against San Diego or Denver or Kansas City, Baltimore. You give up 8 to Baltimore, Buffalo, okay, you got a defense. Philly, KC, loved it. Mahomes, home dog, after a loss, money in the bank. Kelsey looks out of it. That he should have had that touchdown, and he not only wasn't ready for it, but he tipped it up, so it was intercepted. So if he just catches the ball, it's a touchdown. And if he just doesn't tip the ball, but he wasn't ready for it. Why wasn't he ready for it? He knows they're putting pressure on Mahomes all day, so he knows he's got to get rid of it quick. Kelsey looks like shit. I'm sorry. I'd much rather have who's the tight end that I'm thinking about. I don't know. I can't think of him. There's a Brock Bowers. I'd much rather have Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers catches that ball and goes in for a touchdown. So 2017, again, KC is a home dog. Just bet it. Don't think. It's an automatic. It's a home dog bet. And there you go, 2017. In our last game, we had Atlanta +10 against Minnie, and Atlanta wins 22-6. Penix looked great. Some of his receivers dropped some balls. The good defense, J.J. McCarthy. I'm warning you, he's not a favorite. Anytime Minnesota with McCartney is a favorite, or Caleb's a favorite, or Miami is a favorite, you bet against them. They can't beat anybody. They're not good. McCarthy gets 6 points. I think it was 2 field goals. So that was an easy one. Atlanta as the dog. So I go 1-0. I go 2-0. I go 2-1 on the Niners, the Rams 3-1, Cincy 4-1, Denver 5-1, KC 6-1, and Atlanta 7-1. The loser by a half point on the Niners under because nobody's supposed to play and they play. Okay, I got fooled there, but it won't happen again. I won't trust San Francisco anymore. Today I did play the game tonight, one of them. I don't think I played them both. Yeah, maybe I did, but I don't think so. So that is week 2. I will go through tomorrow and update the stats and update my trends. So all of a sudden, where I have, let's see, Detroit is a W, is now going to be probably an over. They still gave up 21 to Caleb. They still don't have a defense. I don't know if Hutchinson did anything. I swear they listen to my videos because they'll make a big deal about, oh, look at Hutchinson. Yeah, he can move. Or one guy said, oh, Hutchinson, it's like it's a broken leg. He'll play again. Well, I never said he wouldn't. I just said he's not ready, and I don't think he is for another month. But it's just funny. I love getting under these idiots' skin. All right, so that's NFL. Again, I look for different things when I watch the game than everybody else, right? So I read New England, Miami, no defense. New England, not much of a defense. The Jets, wait a minute, are they going to score or not? We know Fields sucks, and he looked like it yesterday. And Cincinnati, Pitt, I'm wondering where's Pitt's defense? Wait a minute, they've given up 31 to Seattle. You got Aaron Rodgers. What's going on there? They're always a good defensive team. They got J.J. Watt or T.J. Watt or M.J. Watt, whatever you want to call it. Dallas, no defense. Russell Wilson looks good. And I just go down, and that's how I figure out the teams. And then it's all matchup. When I get the Giants-Washington, that's why I took it over. That's the game I was expecting. Daniels, they have a big game. Russell Wilson, they have a big game. But week 1, they didn't. But if they played next week, I would still go over with the game. I didn't think I needed to with Russell Wilson. I thought he'd be ready. And Daniels, I don't buy this year 2 slump bullshit. That I don't buy at all. Bo Nix look good. Penix looks great. Bo Nix struggling with a few interceptions, but can't blame him for the loss. All right. So let's start. So yes, Joe Burrow's out, but Browning looked okay. We'll have to keep an eye on that before we get all excited with Cincinnati. So we should get points for Cincinnati. Weak defense, but a very strong offense. All right. I have only put my lines in for college. I haven't put the real lines in. So we're just going to talk about the teams with my line because my line will not skew you. If you look at the game blindly, you can pick them 100 times better than if you look at the line. Let's say the line's 20. And you go, oh, they're minus 20. Now you start formulating, can they cover or not? But if you make the line on your own when there is no line, you go, well, I think they're 10 points better. Then the line comes out 20, you know the line's fucked, right? So let's take a look. Thursday night, Rice, Charlotte, a Z team. Rice 3-point favorites. They're not that good. They're an under team. 21, a 21 defense. Charlotte's terrible, 30 defense. Rice should win the game, but it should be low scoring. We're not sure what the real line is. If it's Charlotte favored, we're jumping on Rice, but Rice may be a 7-point favorite. Okay. Tulsa, Oak State. Oak State's a Z team. Tulsa's an E. Oak State has a freshman quarterback, and he ain't pretty. This is very unusual for Mike Gundy. Normally he has aces as quarterbacks. Tulsa, an E team, 23 defense. Oak State also with the 38 defense. But I think they ran into Oregon or somebody explosive and got his ass kicked. So again, I got Oak State as a slight favorite to Tulsa. If they're a big favorite, they're a Z team. Got to be careful there. Big Ten, Iowa, Rutgers 7. Iowa with the 10 defense, Rutgers with the 19 defense. A good quarterback at Rutgers. Iowa barely, they did cover UMass, who's the worst team in college football. I got Rutgers -7. Well, let's see. Iowa could be favored in the game, but Rutgers by 7 should be. North Texas and the Army, excellent game here. North Texas beat Washington State 59-14. Are you kidding me? I mean, that's a legitimate team, Washington State. It's not like Lou Lafayette or something. I got Army -4. Army did go to Kansas State and win, and they seem to have their quarterback problem fixed. North Texas is an A team. Army's an E team at this point. But we love Army. Great offense, great coach. I don't know why the coach is not, at Ohio State or something. If I was Michigan, I would take the Army coach. So we'll see. North Texas will score on them. Army put 27 up on Kansas State, which is not easy. So we will keep the over, a look at the over. SMU, TCU. TCU an A team, SMU an over team. I got TCU -3. I would assume the spread will be within 3 or 4 points. This is an even game. Gotta love the over. TCU just scores. SMU just scores. And TCU with the 17 defense, SMU with the 24. SMU played Baylor to a 110-point game. I would expect the same thing here. Vegas goes against Miami of Ohio. Miami of Ohio is a Z team. Vegas is an over team, very good team. I got Vegas -7. It's probably going to be 14 would be my guess. Miami of Ohio, 31 defense. They only get 240 yards. Vegas, very good team, but you got to be careful. If it's 17 or 20, different. If it's in that 7 area, then it's locked Vegas. Florida goes to Miami of Florida. Miami's an A. Florida's an under. Langway threw 5 picks against LSU. This is, as I said, the problem with the running quarterback. He can't throw. Well, it's good if he can run, but when you play in LSU or Georgia and Alabama, you're not going to be able to run. You've got to complete passes, which he can't do. 5 picks against LSU. I would think Miami at the 13 defense, Florida 12. Florida's pretty much an under team. Miami beating South Florida the way they did. They beat Notre Dame. It should be an interesting game because this is still a rivalry. Back to the Jimmy Johnson days. I remember that with Emmitt Smith. It's Miami. Be careful here. This is, I got Miami -10. If it's 10, I don't know if I can take Miami, but Langway sucks. So we know we're not getting help from Langway. Bowling Green, Louisville, I got -10. Bowling Green's an under team. Louisville is a B team. Clemson, Syracuse. Clemson's 7 over Syracuse. Clemson's an under. Syracuse is a B team. 30 defense. Clemson a 19. Klubiak sucks. We thought Klubiak was good because he threw 35 touchdowns last year. He's got 2 this year. And he didn't show up in any of his big games, Georgia Tech or the first game with the LSU. Doesn't show up. You want to make him your first pick in the draft? You might as well just take Caleb or take Justin Fields. The Bears will probably take him, right? We'll take Klubiak because he looks so good at Clemson 5 years ago. So Clemson's just an under team. Syracuse, they had the leading quarterback, Steve Antonio from he was at Notre Dame. He was a backup. He's their starter, and he's got the most yards thrown. I don't know what that means. But here he's at Clemson. Syracuse looks like a live dog, depending on the number. My number is Clemson -7. Wisconsin, Maryland. Wisconsin -6. Maryland, usually an offensive team. We'll see. And again, they played garbage teams, and Wisconsin got their ass kicked by Alabama. So not sure, but it's at Wisconsin. They're usually good at home. Utah, Texas Tech, game of the day. Both A teams. Utah, I have -3 because they're at home. They're an 8. Texas Tech's an 11. Texas Tech with Morton, a great quarterback, and Utah with Dampier, a great quarterback. So 2 great quarterbacks. Utah, we know, has a great defense. I'm not sure about Texas Tech. They both average 500 yards a game. I really don't know how to play this one. Part of me says, well, Utah's defense, play it under. And then part of me says, well, but the quarterbacks, play it over. So I really need to see the total. I'm assuming it's in the 50s. Utah -3. I have no idea what to do there. Texas Tech's a very live dog. Utah, I don't want to bet against at Utah. So this is a very good game. But Dampier can run and pass. Could be the difference. Arkansas, Memphis. Arkansas 10. They're an over team. They played like a 41-35 game with Old Mississippi. Memphis is an A, but they're in a different league with an 11. So I got Arkansas -10. I don't know. Missouri, South Carolina. South Carolina. Now we know the quarterback got hurt. Sellers got hurt for South Carolina, and Georgia Tech whooped them. Or Vanderbilt whooped them. So we got Missouri. They found a quarterback. They beat my Kansas team. I got -7. It'll probably be more, but we're hoping for -7. If Sellers is out, we got to take Missouri there. UAB, Tennessee, explosive team. How they lost to Georgia, I don't know. They stopped scoring. UAB let us down, couldn't handle Akron. I mean, give me a break. Tennessee at home. I got Tennessee -14. It'll probably be in the 20s. Oregon State. Oregon State is a Z team with the 38 defense going against Oregon, an A team with the 10 defense. I got Oregon -24. It could be lower because it's Oregon State, but Oregon's going to kill them. Lou Lafayette, Eastern Michigan. I don't even have a line. Lou Lafayette's quarterback got hurt. Howard, I don't know. And I really wanted to see what the teams were. So I got Eastern as an over, Lou Lafayette as an under. So that's going to give me Eastern -7. Because with all these Eastern, Western, and Central Michigans, I got to make sure which one I'm talking about. So now that I filled in over and under, Eastern with no defense, Lou Lafayette with the 25, Lou Lafayette with no offense. So Eastern -7 is my guess. North Carolina, UCF. Let's see. North Carolina, an under team. They can't score. Belichick, is before Brady. He's got Drew Bledsoe still. And UCF, an A team that hasn't played anybody. I got UCF -7. Kent and Florida State. This is going to be a massacre. Kent's a W with the 37 defense. They get 200 yards. Florida State, the A team. We saw what they did to Alabama. 10 defense. I don't know. It's a running quarterback. People have seen running quarterbacks before. I got Florida State 28. It'll probably be 38, my guess, actually. But this is why I do what I do, right? Now I kind of feel it out, and maybe 35 is more the number, but that's what you want to look at, and then you see what the real number is, and then you go, okay, we found something here. Toledo 14 over Western, Michigan. Toledo an A team, Western a Z team. Troy and Buffalo 7 over Troy in Buffalo. They're a B team. They lost to I think Kent last week. So Buffalo, I don't know, not great. Auburn, Oklahoma, a very interesting game. I got Oklahoma -7. Auburn's an A team. Oklahoma's a B team. They beat Michigan, and Auburn has been looking very good. I don't know. This should be a very good game. Auburn's got Oklahoma's quarterback Arnold, and he's a good running quarterback. And Hugh Freeze. This should be a tease the dog game, I think, depending on the line. So I got Oklahoma -6. If it's 10, I'm taking Auburn. If it's 3, I might go Oklahoma. This is where I let the line determine my bet. City by the Bay. Hey, Willie Mays. I like the Bucks plus 8.5 in a teaser. I think they can win outright. Well, it should be a good game. Houston, great defense, and Stroud stinks. I like the Baker. They beat a good Atlanta team last week. So, yeah, I mean, that's a plausible bet. I'll give you a tip on Tampa. They're 13-0 as a road dog the last 2 years. So that'll make you feel better. Tulane and Old Miss. Tulane's a very good team. They're an A team. Old Miss now is an over team because we saw what Arkansas did to them. I got Old Miss 14 over Tulane. Tulane is a very live dog in this game. Ball State against UConn. Ball State's a Z team. UConn an over team. I got UConn -7. Hopefully, thinking it's only that. I think it'll be 14. But UConn's very explosive this year. Good quarterback. Another game of the day, Michigan, Nebraska. Michigan, an E team, 14 defense. Nebraska, a B team. But, you know, who did they beat? Central Michigan and New Mexico. They played a good team in Oklahoma and got killed. Nebraska, very strong defense. The freshman quarterback, Michigan, looks like shit. The play calling looks like shit. They did nothing against Oklahoma. It was an embarrassing loss. Nebraska I got as a B team. They're a little bit better than an under team. Raiola still stinks. Two good defenses here, I think. Nebraska I got -7. And we'll check the total. The total should be about 48. We'll see where it is. If it's in the 50s, it's an under bet. I'm pretty sure Nebraska's favored in the game. Purdue, Notre Dame. This is revenge game. This is the actual line I know. Nebraska -28. Purdue looked pretty good against USC. We got fucked. They threw 2 interceptions in the end zone. All they got to do is kick a fucking field goal and we win the over, which we should have won by 50 points. So Purdue played SC fairly good quarterback, good coach, the Vegas coach. They're going to play Notre Dame better. They lost 70-0. This is a revenge game. Purdue will play their best game. And coming off of SC, they now have a little bit more. They lost, 33-17. They will score on Notre Dame, as A&M showed you. They're not that great defensively. So what we've learned is Notre Dame is now an over team. Then they're not an under team. They don't have this great defense, which we thought they did. They gave up 27 to Miami, and they gave up 31 to A&M. I know Notre Dame's 28. I think that's way too high in this game. When you lose by 70 and then you get a new coach and a quarterback's pretty good and their defense was pretty good, they were, pounding USC. When you have that, Purdue's very live here at 34. Will they win the game? They could. I doubt it, but they could. They're much better than the Z team they were. So that's what you look for. This is a revenge game that could go there. Willie Mays, am I wrong for teasing 6 down to 0? I did it with Bills, Cowboys, Lions, and Rams and hit it. Well, you answered your own question. What was wrong with that? I do it all the time. I had Denver from 1 to +5. Forget the 0 nonsense. You make your bet. All your bets were good bets. Buffalo was a joke at 6. Dallas, I was a little nervous about. Detroit, who knows? And the Rams, I loved it. I had the Rams. So no, absolutely, you're fine to go 6 to 0. You're fine to go 4 to +2. it's don't listen to these idiots who say, "Oh, you can't go by 0." Why not? You're taking where a game that they have to win by 6, and you know how fixed the league is, so that you can win, but you can't win by 6. Into now, I just got to win, and there was no question Buffalo was winning. Detroit off of a loss was a good play. The Rams was a joke, and Cowboys was my. You almost lost the Cowboys. Be careful of them. Dak's not good, and now they lost Micah Parsons. So just be careful of Dallas. They're probably an over team. But no, you're fine. All right, James Madison, Liberty. I got Liberty -7. James Madison is an A team. Liberty's an under team. So James Madison's probably a live dog here. Duke and NC State. NC State's an E team. Duke is an over team. A very good quarterback, Mensah, who was the Tulane quarterback. They get 488 yards a game, Duke. I got Duke -7. If NC State's favored in this, then it's a big bet on Duke, especially there at home. Northern Illinois, Old Mississippi State. I got Old Mississippi State -21. Northern Illinois is one of the better MAC teams. They're an under. They don't normally score a lot, but they normally have a good defense. An 18 defense. Old Mississippi State's a B team with a 12. Temple, Georgia Tech. Our Georgia Tech, Haynes King. They go beat Clemson. Clemson, I got Georgia Tech -24. I do like Temple this year, but not here. In conference, I like them. Not out of conference. They're better. They got the Sam Houston coach, who was very good, and they've been playing better. But against Ohio, what was it, Ohio State or whoever? They were outclassed. No, Oklahoma, I think, beat them 42-3. They were outclassed there. Georgia Tech could be more of a game. I got, again, -24 in Haynes King. Georgia Tech wins. It's just how, that's probably close to where the spread is going to be. Willie Mays, people say only tease 2-teamers, but I actually like doing 4 or 5. How many legs do you do typically? It depends on how many games I like. I had 4 locks on Saturday, so that's a 4-team teaser. But I could easily have loaded them up with the Rams in Denver and made it a 6-team teaser. So I'll usually go 6, 7 teams, but I do it differently. I make a very strong bet on my locks, 2-teamer, and then I will do a 3-teamer. I always can find 4 or 5 locks, so I do a 3 or 4-teamer, and then when I just find the matchups, I will do up to. I've done a 11-team teaser. I don't bet a lot on it, but I've done it. If they make sense, if the teams, that's a good one. That's good. As many good ones as I find, but I do, to make the money. I do hit my lock hard and play them in multiple teasers, and then I will. So I don't know who's telling you only 2-teamers, but they're full of shit. 3-teamers are probably better because you're getting plus money. A 2-teamer, you're -110, I think. A 3-teamer, you're even or plus 110. And so that's why it makes sense, because it's not hard to find 3 teams at all. So I would definitely hit hard the 2-teamer, the lock. And then if you see 5, 6 games that you like, bet a 5, 6 game teaser. As long as you got the games that you like, don't force it. If you don't like it, don't just bet the bet. But if you see couple of live dogs, a couple of Z teams you want to bet, then go with the 5-team teaser. You don't bet as much on it. So if you bet 500 on the 2-team teaser, you're not betting 500 on the 16 teaser. You may be betting 50 on it and take the odds and then slowly money manage it up. I do a main teaser and a hedge teaser, trying to middle if I can. Be careful on that. I get the hedge, but basically you should be playing teams that you really like, so you really don't need to hedge it. Today's game you could hedge if you've got Tampa open, let's say with the Rams, and you get in Tampa an 8.5. You could then just bet it straight. I would take who they playing? Houston. Take Houston -2. You already have the 8.5 in, and then you can't lose. You're guaranteed to win. You could win them both, but you can't lose them both. So that's what so if you have 100 on Tampa and 8.5, I would bet maybe 50 or 60 on Houston -2, and I can win 160, and I either win 40 or I lose 30. So you've reduced it, but you've added the second point of it where you could win them both. And that's the beauty of the trap, or as you're saying, the hedge, is you could win them both. And I've done that a lot, where I've taken the 8 and I've laid the 2 and they win by 3 and off you go. It's usually a good game that you're pretty sure the favorite could win, but the dog's very live, very strong. Sort of like tonight. That's probably what I would do tonight. But yeah, your main teaser. And then it's just money management. As you win, you bet a little bit more, a little bit more. As you learn the teams, as I teach, you start seeing Z teams and A teams, and you start betting them, and you learn, they're an over team, they're an under team. Like Dallas, now the Giants, you realize, are an over team. They're not, no defense and great offense now. That's what you're going to get from them. Same with Dallas. Pittsburgh, we're wondering about their defense. So that's what, as you learn it and you get it. Like yesterday, I would have just gone crazy with KC as the dog at home. I mean, that's what you're looking for, right? KC's a home dog. That's the one you pound pretty hard. All right, back to this. Kansas, West Virginia. I got Kansas -10. They're an A team, 18 defense. West Virginia is an under team. They did come back to beat Pitt. It's a rivalry. They did lose to Ohio 17-10. What it taught me was Ohio's an under team. And West Virginia is, they had 600 yards offense playing the high school team. Now they're down to 411 once you play the real teams. So keep that in mind. Kansas, excellent quarterback, strong defense, great coach. Arkansas State, Kennesaw State, Arkansas State and over. Kennesaw State's a W. Arkansas State also gives up 34 a game. I got Arkansas State -7 here. Florida International, Delaware. Delaware is pretty good. Florida International beat Florida Atlantic. I got Florida International -3. Delaware an over team with the 30 defense, and Florida International an E team with the 24 defense. Who knows? South Alabama, Coastal Carolina. We've got a Z team in Coastal Carolina. South Alabama is a very, very high scoring team. I got them laying 10. It'll probably be more, but not that much more. Maybe 14. Nevada, Western Kentucky. We know how explosive. Western Kentucky's got this great quarterback. He's got like 10 touchdowns, 1 pick so far. They did lose to Toledo. Keep that. Here they got Nevada. I got as a W. Western Kentucky, I got 14 over Nevada. The Air Force and Boise, tough game here. Air Force, very good, but did lose. Who the hell beat them last week? Utah State beat Air Force 49-30. That's because you got Brock Mendenhall now, the coach at Utah State. Do not forget that. The coach makes the bet most of the time. So here we got Air Force and Boise. Boise, an A team. Air Force, an over team. I got Air Force -3 at home. Middle Tennessee against Marshall. Marshall, an under team, but I think they're more almost a Z team. 47 players left for Southern Miss, right? Middle Tennessee's a W. I got Middle Tennessee's a 10. I think that's a little high, but Marshall's terrible. BYU 14 over East Carr. BYU, they're both A teams. BYU's only given up 2 points. East Carolina 9. BYU has a great defense, and they're just going to run it down your throat. And East Carolina beat a weak team. It's at East Carolina. Depending on the total, it's probably an under, but we don't, it'll probably be in the low 40s. BYU is a great defense. Don't forget that. So I got a -14. We will see. Willie Mays. I subbed, looking forward to more great discussion. Cheers. Okay, sounds good. You're welcome. When do you go live usually? Well, during the week, I try to go this time. On the weekends, 10 o'clock to noon, Saturday before the game, and then on Sunday, 11 to 1, also before the game. We can check the injuries that are late, the line movements that are late. That's what I did yesterday, is walk through it. So, yeah, I try to be on in the morning. Sometimes I have things to do, and I might come on in the evening, or I might just skip. But like Friday, I skipped because I was driving home from up north. But generally, I'm on every day. And if you miss me, just you got the video. It's live, but you can always watch it. It doesn't have to be live for you to watch it. But yes, it's better this way. You can ask questions. Illinois, Indiana, great game. Indiana I got -3 because they're at home. They're both A teams with 7 defenses. Very good game here. Arizona State, Baylor, another very good game. Baylor, we know, explosive. I love the quarterback, Robertson. Arizona State, good quarterback, Levitt. They lost Scattaboo. They did shut down Texas State, unfortunately. Last week, I had Texas State over in the game. We missed. Baylor, explosive and at home. So look for a lot of points here. I don't know. I'm hoping it'll probably be maybe 61. But Arizona State's got a 19 defense, so you got to be careful there. Stanford, Virginia. I got Virginia 14. They're an 18 with a 20 defense. Stanford's terrible, a W, and they'll be traveling coast to coast from Stanford to Virginia. They did beat BC, which was shocking. But again, I warn you, BC had to travel to California, Boston to California. Here, they're going the other way. Stanford has to go to Virginia, so that's an edge to Virginia. So I see it -14, could be -17 or 20. We'll see. Southern Miss and L Tech. Southern Miss, a B team. They got the Marshall coach and quarterback, and they're playing much better. L Tech, an under team. I got Southern Miss -7. If you get Southern Miss as a dog here, jump on it. Washington State. Washington State's terrible. W team, 27 defense. Washington, an A team. Great quarterback. I got Washington 17 over Washington State. Arvandi, Daggio, A team, 10 defense. Georgia State, a Z team with the 40 defense. I got Vandy -24. I'm praying. Please let it just be 24. Gotta love Vanderbilt. But again, if it's a 35, I don't love them that much. Sam Houston, Texas. Where's Texas? They're Arch Manning had 10 incompletions in a row to UTEP. Fucking UTEP. I got a -21. They're a 10 defense. They don't score. Sam Houston's a Z with the 38. So Arch Manning will have a big day against the rough Sam Houston team with the 38 defense. And everybody, oh, he's back. He's a superstar. I can give you 10 quarterbacks much better than Arch Manning. UTEP and Lou Monroe. I got UTEP 7. Lou Monroe's a Z team, 36 defense. UTEP is an under team with the 24. So -7, but they did play Texas fairly well. And that's probably why they're an under team. I mean, they're not going to score on Texas, so it makes them look worse. You got to go to the Utah State game where I think they lost 24-14. So they seem to have a fairly good defense. UTSA, Colorado State. UTSA, we love. Great quarterback, McCown. I got a -7 over Colorado State, who's an even team. UTSA is giving up 35 a game. We'll see. Colorado, 14 over Wyoming. Wyoming, an under team, was holding Utah in there. But the thing is that Utah missed 3 field goals in the first half. They should have won 40-6. Wyoming with no offense, but a good defense. Colorado, I don't know, Prime's in over his head. They're an even team. I got a -14 because it's Prime. Cal, San Diego State. I got Cal -10. They're an A team with the 10 defense. They've been playing well. San Diego State, a B team with an 18. Cal's a better team here. USC, Michigan State. I think I've seen this spread, so I think I got USC -14, which I think is the real spread. USC, an A team. The defense looks really strong against Purdue. Michigan State, they're hurting, and they have to go West Coast. So USC minus 14, I think, is right. And Fresno State, 7 against Hawaii. They started slow. They've been playing better. They're a B team. They both have 20 defenses. Hawaii's just not scoring. That is the real lines that we should be looking at. Now you've got your understanding of the games. This is what should happen. Now we'll see the lines and we'll see where the lines are fucked. And that's how we beat the bookies every year. Because they came out with some stupid AI line based on total yards and total this and how many times does the quarterback go to the bathroom? I don't know what they're looking at. I'll kick ass on an AI anytime. He has no chance against me. So now we fill in the blanks. We look for overs and unders. We look for Z teams. So let's look at the Z team here. Thursday night, Charlotte. Friday night, Oklahoma State. Miami of Ohio on Saturday. And you know why they have Thursday and Friday games? For betting. Why? Who's going to watch Rice Charlotte? Why is it on TV? So you bet on it because it's on. Only idiots would bet to bet. Oregon State, Z team. Kent's a W. Western Michigan's a Z team. Ball State's a Z team. The Max loaded with Z teams. I think they lose any decent talent. And who's going to go to the MAC school? So I think like Indiana grabs a MAC team, some good players from the MAC, and then they're left with nothing. So that's why they have so many Z teams. Kennesaw State, I got as a W. Coastal Carolina, a Z team. Nevada, a W. Middle Tennessee, a W. Georgia State, a Z against our Vanderbilt. Sam Houston, a Z. They were good, but the coach went to Temple. Temple's much better. Sam Houston is in trouble. Lou Monroe, a Z team. And that's it. So you have a lot of MAC teams. So again, you're looking for a good team playing that. You can't bet an under against the Z team because they don't score. So you need a team that's why I took UAB over, Akron last week, because UAB scores. Problem is that their defense sucked. And we lost on the 2-point conversion. They're down 11. All they got to do, first of all, keep them out of the end zone. Secondly, if they don't get the 2-pointer, they win by 5. We're laying 4. So very frustrating there. So that's next week's college football. So then you got to look for injuries. We know Sellers at South Carolina. We know he's injured. Let's see. Gold, 36.78. We might just hit 3,700 today. Silver, 42.63. I heavily advise buying that as soon as possible. My store charges $2 commission, so I will be venturing over to the store tomorrow. He's not open Sunday, Monday. And then we've got, now, when is silver going to move? Gold's up $35, $36, but silver's up 43 cents. Why is it only moves 43 cents when gold moves $36? Why isn't silver moving $36? That's coming, but it always amazed me why it's 43 cents versus $43. All right. So let's look at NFL Week 3. And we'll just get a feel for it. I normally wait for Monday night game to be over, and then Tuesday I bring in the new stats. Then I can rank the teams, and I can look at the quarterbacks and go from there. All right, Thursday night, Buffalo against Miami. I don't really want to see the line. Buffalo, Miami. Miami's a Z team. Buffalo's going to kill them. Indy plays Tennessee. If Indy, we want Indy to be the dog there. That's Sunday. Atlanta at Carolina. Look for Penix to have a big game. Oakland goes to Washington, which should be a nice game there. Green Bay goes to Cleveland. There you go. Green Bay's going to kill them. Cincinnati goes to Minnesota. Now we've got Browning for Cincinnati and J.J. McCarthy. I saw a stat yesterday that J.J. McCarthy was like 63-3 since junior high or something. That's so misleading. At Michigan, they had the weakest schedule, and he didn't play because he was injured 1 year. And now he's at Minnesota, and, all right, he beat the Bears, but don't tell me he's 63-3 like it's, at Michigan. He had nothing to do with them going undefeated. So anyway, Minnesota, Cincy. The Rams go to the Philly. As I said, I think the Rams can play them because I think we've seen the weakness is the secondary of Philly. Pittsburgh goes to New England. Pittsburgh should get better. We'll see. The JETSs go to Tampa. Good luck there. Houston goes to Jacksonville. We'll see Houston tonight. Denver goes to San Diego. Now that would be a very good game. New Orleans goes to Seattle. We'll see. Dallas goes to the Bears. The Bears are in big trouble. Will the Bears win a game? Arizona goes to the 49ers. I have no idea. I mean, I'm like, Arizona barely beat Carolina, and the Niners, I don't know who's playing and not. We'll have to see. Kansas City goes to the Giants. This should be, this should be a mercy because they've now lost 2 in a row. They get the Giants. I know they get Baltimore and these other teams coming up, probably Washington. They're not going 0-3. And the Giants, Russell Wilson had a big day. They don't have the rush to really bother Mahomes. Look for them they're going to kill him. Detroit goes to Baltimore. Well, there goes Detroit. Baltimore is going to kill them. And that's the Monday night game. All right. Now, I didn't want to read the lines because I am putting my lines in first, and then I will put them in. The surest game is Baltimore will destroy Detroit. That's the surest game on the ticket. A lot of that depends on the spread. I would expect San Diego to be 3 over Denver. Oakland goes to Washington. I think you have 2 sure bets on that. Kansas City 0-2. They're not going to be 0-3 playing the Giants. And Baltimore destroying Detroit. Those 2 you can take to the bank. The problem with most people, they'll see Detroit beat the Bears without really understanding what happened in the game. The Bears had injuries on defense and Caleb. So for Detroit to score 50 on them, I don't know how many picks Caleb threw or how many turnovers, but this is the point. So you misread thinking you misread it thinking Detroit's this good team. They put up 51. But they're not. Remember, they got destroyed by Green Bay, and here comes Baltimore. Baltimore's got the loss to Buffalo. They have to win it. Raiders tonight, No, okay. Play the Raiders tonight. You make your bets. You want my picks? You got to buy my picks. I don't give away my picks. I give you a free play. I gave you Cincinnati. So um, that's what you really got. Casey can't afford to lose. We're hoping they're 7 or 8. We get them under a field goal. We'll go from there. But people think Detroit's a better team than they are. Excuse me. Because they put up 50 points on Bears. But they're going to struggle against Baltimore. They can't handle LeBar. They get beat by a running quarterback and a good defense. So anyway, that's the misconception. You think, oh, Detroit can play with Baltimore. No, they can't. They beat a weak Bears team. They did not beat a good team. They didn't beat Philadelphia. They didn't beat Green Bay. So therefore, they're not really that good just because they won a game. It's like the Tigers. Everybody thinks the Tigers are good. They're not. They beat bad teams and bad pitching. And when they play good teams or good pitching, they excuse me. So anyway, you've got to see who they beat. That's what we look at in college. Did they beat a high school team or did they beat Alabama? And that's what you look at. Florida State beat Alabama. Okay, we take notice. You beat Goliath, then okay. So that's why we tend to. The way I grade the teams is based on who they beat more than anything else, and I am very anal when it comes to in college. Did they beat this? Did they play a good team or did they play a Z team or did they play a high school team? And if they beat a high school team, I note that. No, don't count that game. That happens a lot in the SEC. Ole Miss beats a high school team 70-0, and then they're going to score 70, and then then they scored 20 on Alabama. What happened to the 70? Well, they played a high school team. Anyway, I think next week's Georgia, Alabama, which will be a very good game. So we will keep an eye on that. So anyway, that's your college for next week. Now, today we'll fill in the lines and the overs. It's hard to check injuries yet. They probably come out tomorrow. On the pros, we got 2 games tonight. Then we pull in the stats, and then we calculate. Now we've got the Jets, Pittsburgh, week 1, where both teams are letting up 100 points. And now the Jets only got 10 on Buffalo, and Pitt got 17 on Seattle. Now we go, who are they? And then we really need one more week. The third week will solidify it. Then as we get into the year and we get to about week 10 or 11, we just go to the last 5 weeks because these weeks are still kind of preseason. So then we go week 6 to week 11 and we go, okay, what's their numbers? I do that with like the Lions were a 22 defense, but when you went and did the last 6 weeks, they were a 32 defense. And that's what you want to see is what's going on. So sometimes you'll see a team with a 10 defense, but then you watch them, they give up 28 points and you go, it doesn't look like a 10 defense. 10 defense doesn't give up points. Philadelphia doesn't give up a lot of points. They're the best defense. Philly, San Diego, Kansas City, strong defensively. Baltimore, I don't know. They try to be, but they're not. Pittsburgh, I don't know where they are. Cleveland, I don't know what's going on there. And the whole thing. And then you try to rate quarterbacks. I don't rate them. I see them. If they're good, Penix, golden. Bo Nix, Danielson, Caleb sucks. Field sucks. It takes me 10 minutes to read a quarterback, and that's the difference. I bet the Rams knowing that Cam Ward's not good. Well, he's the number one pick, and he was great at Miami. Yeah, but he sucked at Washington. Caleb sucked at USC his last year. That's it. That's all you need to see is if the guy can't play in college, he's not going to play in the pros. I heard a stat yesterday listening on the way home, the Lions, that Caleb had overthrown like 50 receivers. He's got the highest rate for overthrown receivers. So anyway, that's what's going on. So anyway, I think that's it. Vegas thing, again, you're over market. So Vegas is going to go broke because their market's here and they're trying to sell things here. And the Wall Street guys are sitting there going, oh, it's okay. We'll make more money with less, but it doesn't work in Vegas. You want crowds. You don't want nobody because the whales aren't going to want to go when there's nobody there. And they're not taking that into account. And yes, these people did pay for the parking and that, but that was because they didn't know. It isn't working now. Nobody's going. They have to adjust. It's like making Coca-Cola $5 for a 2 liter, and then people stop buying it. And then it's buy one, get one free, or buy one. And, they did that with my dark chocolate. They were $2. Now they're $4, and nobody's buying. So now it's 2 for $8. So now they're $4 a bar. And, the price will come down. You can't force prices. The market determines what you charge. You can't just say, I'm going to mark it up. And I know some people will pay and some, no, nobody will pay. That's the point of the market. The market's here. If you start charging more dark chocolate or steaks or whatever, nobody's home. Nobody's going to buy it. You can't say, well, we'll mark it up and then some people will buy it. No, nobody will buy it. And that's a false assumption. Trying to understand the market, you're doing it incorrectly. The market sets the price, not you. You can't raise the price and try to get the market up there. It won't work. That's Keynesian, and that's what Vegas is doing. Is Keynesian? Well, we'll just mark everything more, and yeah, we'll lose a lot of people, but we'll gain some. No, you're not going to gain anything because the market isn't there. Well, we'll get the whales, and we'll get the techies at Silicon Valley. No, they don't gamble. They're not your market. Yeah, there is people that make a lot of money in Silicon, but they're going to AI themselves out of a job. And Wall Street, they're going to AI themselves out of the job. We don't need guys. We don't need sales guys in that. We'll just have AI do everything. So AI is going to replace everything, which will totally destroy the market. Because you know why? AI doesn't buy anything. The market does. We go to the store and buy. AI doesn't. And so what you're going to do is you're going to fuck the whole economy because there won't be Say's Law. There won't be people going to work and spending their money. You're going to have AI who goes to work but doesn't get paid and doesn't spend any money. And you've got the collapse of everything because you have nobody buying anything. You can't sell anything. You're fucked. So good luck, Keynesians. We buy gold and silver and we're fine because you can't fuck that up much as they want to. All right, I will let you go with that. www.teaserking.com. Great week this week. 7-1. We did play, I think, 1 or 2 games tonight, and then we're already looking ahead for next week. All right, I'll be studying, and I've got everything put up there now. I just got to bring in the new lines. Doesn't take long, and then we look at injuries, and I do look at quarterbacks, and then like Sellers from South Carolina. He got knocked out of the game. Is it a serious injury or what? We know Burrow's out. Now we got to see how good Browning is. So he did play last year. Wasn't too bad. So we'll see how he is. But again, he's got Chase to throw the ball to. So that makes anybody a good quarterback. All right. Have a good day, everybody. www.teaserking.com. Gold. Maybe we'll get 3,700 today. If not, by the end of the week, we might even get 38 or 3,900. There's nowhere else to go, and nobody profit takes gold. Again, I'll use the Titanic example. You're on the Titanic, the boat's sinking. You get off the Titanic into the lifeboat. Who gets off the lifeboat to go back onto the Titanic? Nobody. The dollar's sinking. You get out of the dollar to go to the gold and silver lifeboats. You don't sell the gold and silver to get back on the Titanic. You keep the gold and silver. You don't sell it. There's no profit taking at all. Never, ever physical. You might profit take the other bullshit, but the physical, and you only buy physical. No ETFs, no stocks. They're all scams, Ponzi schemes, and you'll lose your ass in. And I don't want any of my students losing their ass. We're going to make money. You buy physical gold and silver. All right, everybody. Have a good day. www.teaserking.com.